Hello everyone and welcome to my podcast. You're listening to Seraphina Speaks Little Girl Big Questions, the show that delivers you my take on topics that are important. I'm your host, Seraphina Marlena Durbin. Let's go right ahead to the show. Hello everyone, I'm so happy you're tuning into my podcast. In the last episode, I shared a holiday meditation. If you've not listened to it, I recommend you go and find it because it helps quite a few people escape to somewhere different. Millie wrote to me and said, "Thank you for taking me on a holiday with you. I imagined having a big chocolate ice cream with my family on a beach." And then Lenny told me, he said, "I imagine being on the top of Mount Everest, looking down at the rest of the world." Wow, Lenny, that sounds incredible. This week, I thought I'd tell you about an amazing holiday I went on 2 years ago. It all started when Mummy read a little piece in a newspaper. It was about an island in Scotland called Eilean Shona. My mummy showed me the pictures of the island, and it looked like the most magical place. I asked if we could go and stay. One day, she said,
"I've booked for us to go and stay, but it's going to be a really, really long drive."
She was telling the truth, because it took us 3 whole days to get there. Packed up what we needed to take with us, which was a lot of stuff, so the car was pretty full. Island was so remote that we needed to buy all of our food from a supermarket in Fort William, which was over an hour away. We were told to meet the boat at a special jetty, and when we arrived, we could see the house that we were going to be staying in across the water. We had to climb carefully onto boats and being taken across to the island. This was my first time on a little boat, so I was excited. A special fact about the island is that J.M. Barrie wrote Peter Pan whilst he was staying there. It really is a magical place, with lots of glistening water, huge tall trees, beautiful wildlife and mountains, and creepy crawly crabs. I haven't read Peter Pan, but I have seen a few movie versions. I wonder if Tinkerbell saw my brothers and I running around on the island. You might be wondering what we actually did when we were on the island. We didn't have all our toys there. We didn't have any televisions to watch a cheeky episode of Ben and Holly. And we didn't even have any Wi-Fi. What we had was an island to explore, plus our imaginations and curiosity. So we did lots of outdoorsy things like crabbing, building dens, and toasting marshmallows and exploring on big walks. The biggest thing that I learnt on the island was how to make my own fun. At times, we had to get creative, especially when it was a rainy day. And let's remember, this was Scotland, so there were a lot of rainy days. Oh, and there were ticks. I'll put a link about these in the show notes. All I can say is yuck. My big question today is one that I got a feeling has become important recently. Should parents make sure we have something to do and that we're having fun all the time? Is it their job to entertain us constantly, or should we be independent and keep busy by ourselves? What do you think? I'm not the kind of person to say I'm bored all the time, but I know a couple of boys who do. I would love to know how you make your own fun. I like to use my brain and come up with stories and worlds. Sometimes I use my teddies to be characters, and sometimes I just imagine them. Sometimes I get my brothers to play characters too. I think everyone plays differently, so I would love to know how you get creative and make your own fun. Will you write and tell me all about it? My email is seraphina@seraphinaspeaks.com. I read and reply to every email I get. That's it for today, listeners. In my next episode, I'll be discussing school uniform. Don't forget, if you like this podcast, Subscribe to get every episode. And don't forget to tell your friends about Seraphina Speaks. See you next time, everyone. Stay safe. Bye. Wow, I hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. If you like what you hear, click the subscribe button. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Don't forget to check the show notes. Leave me a review wherever you listen to your podcasts, because then more people can find my podcast.